How's it going? Today I'll be going over how to put your MPLAB projects into VS Code and how to code in VS Code for MPLAB. Um, it's pretty simple, nothing too hard about it. VS Code's really good at implementing all of your MPLAB configurations into it. Um, and let's get into it. So first, you'll want to have the MPLAB extension downloaded on your VS Code. You don't need to worry about any of these other things, just a straight MPLAB. It's a pack with 12 different expansions or extensions in it. Um, and it has everything that you need to run your projects in VS Code. So once you install these extensions, you'll see that a few new windows can pop up on your sidebar. These are how you work with and configure your VS Code files or MPLAB files on VS Code. And there's also an MPLAB AI assistant. I haven't messed around with it too much. You have to make an account. That's a little unnecessary. And we'll get into why that is later. So first, once you have this pack downloaded and installed, we're going to avoid creating a project in VS Code. There's a lot that goes into it. There's just a lot of unnecessary steps when you have MPLAB available. And there's also, when you try to make one in VS Code, it makes a plain MPLAB file and not an MPLAB X file or folder. And I'll go into kind of what that is. So these are my MPLAB files that I have on here right now. They're in the MPLAB X project. There's also an MPLAB projects file, and these are where if you were to make an MPLAB file or project in VS Code, this is where they go. And you can see I tried playing around with a dot. It just there's files that VS Code doesn't automatically give you to create an MPLAB X file. And so the easier way to do it is just what we have been doing, and make a new project in MPLAB, configure it in MPLAB, and get your whole system ready in the MCC before putting it into VS Code. And you can alternate between like saving it in VS Code, opening it back up in MPLAB, and configuring it again. VS Code is just really helpful for the programming side, the actual writing out code. Much more helpful and user-friendly than MPLAB is. But I will be taking my debouncer test project and putting it in VS Code. This was something that I used for another video. If you have watched that, it goes over different methods to debouncer code and different reasons why you would use different methods. But that's beside the point. All you need to do in VS Code is open your folder, go to your projects, your MPLAB X projects. And if you don't know where to find it, that's easy too. All you have to do is go to MPLAB, and you can open file, see where your files are down here, copy it, and then in VS Code, you can just paste that in. Obviously, it's the same as where I am right now. But if you were to paste it in, you get to here, and these are my different projects. I'll work with the bouncer test. And once you open it up, it opens all of the files. It opens your main. It has your generated files. These are your header files, where all of your different functions that you can use are. All you really need is the main file. And it's going to bring up a lot of stuff like where do you want this to be saved? Where do you want to work with all of this? And it's not super important. Some things that you can do in MPLAB, which are nice, are if you are not connected to MPLAB and you only have VS Code, you can use your configuration file from your MPLAB folder, which is already here. It's selecting a kit. You can use any kit, but you can build your code and you can run your code onto your device using VSCode as long as you have it all set up properly, which in here should have like the build target you can select. I don't have my stuff plugged in necessarily. It's also, you can just swap it over. You can just hit save and go back to MPLAB and build your stuff. So it's not much different at all. It's just if you want to do it this way, you can. And here's where, if you go to the MPLAB tab, then you can see your tools. Right now I have my PIC 18 F47 Q10, and it has all of that loaded up. So that is telling the program that it is building for that chip or for that controller. Still not super important to you. You probably won't be doing much with that. I assume the big reason that people are going to want to use VS Code for their MPLAB projects is so that they can use AI to help them solve their problems in their code, help them solve issues that they don't see. And VS Code is fantastic for that. So instead of using ChatGPT, which I've seen plenty of students using to try and help them figure out what's wrong, you can use Copilot, which already looks at your file in here, and you can ask it, can you optimize my code? And Copilot will look at all of your stuff and work to make your code run better. You can ask it other things like, can you add better debouncing? Add better debouncing, and it'll put a method in there to help you debounce your code, to help functions not activate when you don't want them to. It's just super, super helpful. And if you come up with errors in your code and it's like, oh, this stuff isn't running right, put your code in here and just say, what's the error I'm getting? And it can look at, if you add context, you can add a whole bunch of stuff in here. I just pressed add context, and you can't see it now because I did it, but I said open editor. And what that did was it included every file in here, in the chat. So now it's looking at every file that I have, and it can figure out what functions to use that we have set up, or why some of our functions aren't working. And it's just a super helpful, super easy to use. And once it's written all of its code, you can either apply it, just click apply, and it'll change whatever you have and write what it made. I would recommend, if you're really confident in what it made, I would say you can do that. But there's also, if you go to the more actions right here, there's an insert into new file. What this will do is it'll just make a whole new file that you can have the new code in. If you want, you can swap them. You can just put all the new code into your current file, put your current stuff into the new file. It doesn't really matter. But something that is nice that you can see is it also shows all of what it changed and where it changed it. Very nice. You can choose to keep it, undo it. Just some really nice quality of life things that will help you. And that is modified externally. And so after you change your code in VS Code, you can come back here, choose to see the modified stuff, and now it'll show the new code. So you don't even have to close out of everything, or you don't have to restart, make a new file, anything like that. All you have to do is reload it, and your new code shows up. And that's really all there is to it for the most part. You can explore around if you want with the different things that this lets you do, but in my opinion, it's just really helpful, uh, and it'll help you not need to have as many conversations with ChatGPT, which doesn't know as much about your files, and it could give you bad code that doesn't work for the functions that you have available to you. Um, this is just a much faster and easier way to change your code on the fly, reopen it, reprogram it, see if something goes wrong, um, say what goes wrong. And I would recommend that everyone at least try to use this if possible, because it could help reduce the headaches that you get from uh, programming during this part of the class. During crunch time, semester's about to end. Take advantage of this software that we have available.